Dante Greco.
Dante is a really smart guy.
Ladies love Dante.
He's not got a dare. Look at that face. What's your name, Casey?
Dante Greco.
Dante was me, yours truly.
I'm gonna come.
Hey, YouTube world, it's me, yours truly. Well, it's the Dante Greco show. I'm back. I had to cut the show short yesterday. That will not be happening today. We're doing the full show. So let's get right into it, okay? They solved, or at least closed, the case of the White House cocaine caper that had everyone enraptured over 4th of July weekend. Who could have possibly done it? Who could have been visiting the White House that may have a history of cocaine use or, other drugs and just partying in general? We don't know, but they have decided that they weren't able to find somebody. Here, real quick, is just a neat little graphic that I made. Oh, shoot. Let me adjust that. Okay. This is for the other site that I write for now and do a podcast for, clickpop.substack.com. I made this handy little graphic to, talk about the cocaine that was found in the White House. That's from the day of. Now, let's go right to the latest news on that. All right. The White House mystery cocaine case closed without an answer. Will we ever know? Will we ever get to the bottom of this bag? Well, let's read the details. Okay, let's see what the Secret Service had to say about it. According to TMZ, whoever left their coke in the White House can smile. Well, not really. It's not like they're going to get the coke back, but they're not going to get busted for it because the Secret Service has no video evidence to nail a suspect. They closed their investigation because there was no surveillance footage found that revealed who made the coke drop. And further, the Secret Service says the FBI lab couldn't find any fingerprints or DNA it could use to compare with the known pool of individuals, such as White House staffers. So that's an interesting distinction. Are they, look, yeah, maybe, you don't pick it up. I just happen to have a bag with something else here, old SIM card, but I guess you could pull the bag out, just kind of touch it, kind of open it like this, You're not necessarily going to leave a big smudge on there unless you're trying to get some gummies. But the known pool of individuals is interesting because to me, that says that they kept it to a small group of people, the staffers. Does that include Hunter Biden? He's not technically a staffer. He's a visitor. He was there over 4th of July weekend. And a lot of people, I'll see if I can find one of those videos when they were watching the fireworks and he's walking behind Jill and he's like, freaking out, all yipped up, probably. Although he shaved, he looked a little more presentable. But look, it's ridiculous. Everyone knows. By the way, the authorities say the coke was found in a receptacle used to temporarily store electronic and personal devices prior to entering the West Wing. So maybe he just forgot it. He just grabbed a handful of stuff out of his pockets and put it there. And oops, where's my coke? Gotta imagine being Hunter and trying to get, you lose your coke. It's the 4th of July. You need someone to bring you coke. But how are you going to get a coke dealer into the White House to drop off your new coke? The stress of just doing that. People, from what I've heard, buying coke normally, going to pick it up or having someone drop it off is stressful. Imagine having to do it in one of the most secure places in the world. So anyways, they closed the case. They say there were no surveillance cameras. TMZ did an interview with a guy named Bobby McDonald, who was a former Secret Service agent, and he says they're lacking security cameras, and they've learned from this mistake. Maybe they'll put some in there now, which I would be pissed, by the way. If I was a White House staffer, I'd be like, that effing Hunter, that used to be the one place where we could go and maybe just like sit and scroll Twitter or fuck off somehow. on our phone, just chill, whatever, without cameras watching us. Now there's going to be cameras in this little receptacle area. You can't even go there to have to take a hit of the vape. Again, we don't know that it was Hunter Biden, but, Occam's razor that he used Occam's razor to cut up that coke this time. If this was, and I hate to be one of these people, but God darn it, if this was the Trump White House, this story would be ongoing. It's July 13th today. The coke was found on July 2nd. They pretty much stopped talking about it until today. I don't get it. Why are we trying so hard to protect Hunter Biden? Like, I know why. It's kind of a rhetorical question. But seriously, if this was Donald Trump Jr., who, by the way, probably also uses coke. I mean, there's pictures out there of him looking bloated and sweaty, but I don't think he does crack. But he has to have sniffed something at one point in his life. If this was Donald Trump Jr., which would have been liberals' wet dream, this would have been nonstop. This would have been like a major, especially going into an election year. This would have been huge. They were all hoping it was Don Jr.'s laptop, not Hunter's laptop. So it's kind of insulting, but look, they can get away with it. What are we going to do? There are so many issues in this country right now. There isn't the political will to keep hammering away on the coke story. But yeah, so good luck. Whether it was Hunter, could have been another staffer. They work long hours. They need to be energized, or lest Joe Biden yell at them. Could have been a staffer using the coke, but I like that Trump said that it could have been Joe or Hunter. It's a little ridiculous. An 80-year-old man can't use cocaine, right? I mean, am I crazy? Coke gives people heart attacks. Remember the story of John Paul Jones, the bassist for The Who? They got back together. This is like 20 years ago or something, but they got back together. They were going to go on tour, and he thought it was going to be like, the good old days. So he's out there on tour doing coke one night with some girls and drops dead of a heart attack. And he was only, I believe, in his early 60s. So an 80-year-old man doing coke, I don't think so. Even Hunter's too old to be doing coke, especially crack. Like, his heart's going to give out at some point. It just has to. So anyways, got away with this one. Congratulations. Is that coke is probably entered into the giant evidence locker, the Raiders of the Lost Ark evidence locker that I'm sure they have somewhere. Maybe they put it in the National Archives. Does this happen to be technically like something for the National Archives, since it happened in the White House and they're supposed to keep all this stuff? Imagine Trump left office and he was like, I need my coke. No, I'm just keeping my coke. It's not national security documents. It's my cocaine. I'm keeping it in Mar-a-Lago. Let's keep it moving. All right. SAG-AFTRA has announced that they are going on strike too. 160,000 actors will join the writers. I think I'm going to go out there. Yesterday I went out to the ESPYs to do the, I don't like this camera angle. It's like making my face look bigger than it is. Hold on. I went out to the ESPY. All right. The ESPYs to see if I could get some footage. I did a live stream. In my opinion, it wasn't great. It was my first time doing a live stream like that. And it's tough. It's tougher than it seems like to just like keep the conversation going, especially when there wasn't much action. But I think I'm going to go out tomorrow and see if any celebrities are there. The celebrities usually show up like the first few days because that's when all the media is going to be there. So maybe I'll get some interviews and show you what's happening. But anyways, Hollywood is officially shut down. The union representing actors is now on strike, which means actors will join writers, the two groups that hate each other in Hollywood, on the picket lines for the first time in more than half a century. I believe it was 1960 was the last time they both were doing this at the same time. Bob Iger is pissed, of course. Bob Iger, the head of Disney, is saying that like this is the worst possible time for people to be causing this disruption. We're still trying to recover from COVID, and the dynamics of the industry have changed so much. There's not enough money. everyone is rightly pointing out that he makes $25 million a year. And Fran Drescher, the SAG president, SAG-AFTRA president, is talking about the hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses and salaries that other executives are getting. Look, the studios are going to have to pay the creators more money. It's the creator economy. There's all kind of new revenue streams coming in from streaming. And we know Netflix and other streamers like to hide their data so no one knows exactly who's watching what and how often and how much money is being made off of it. But I think they're going to have to come clean, all right? The party's over. It's like crypto. The party's over, all right? You're going to get a little bit of regulation, I believe. They met Thursday. They voted unanimously to join the strike just the day after the Emmy nominations were announced. My God. We ever going to find out who's going to win the Emmy this year? I'll talk about those in a second. It's really not that interesting. All your favorite shows got nominated. The most interesting thing in the Emmy nominations category is, I think, Best Supporting Actor is all HBO. It's made up entirely of The White Lotus and oh great, I lost it. Okay. White Lotus and Succession. So like somebody's going to have to win from those shows. It's going to be very interesting to see who the voters choose to take home the trophy. See if I can pull it up. Nominees. All right, we'll just go here. Yeah, look at this. Supporting actor drama series. You've got Theo James, The White Lotus, Matthew McFadden, Succession, Nicholas Braun, Succession, Alan Ruck, Succession, Michael Imperioli, White Lotus, Will Sharp, The White Lotus, F. Murray Abraham, The White Lotus, Alexander Skarsgård, Succession. I don't think it's going to be F. Murray Abraham because he had some kind of accusations come out that he was he had to get fired or resigned off of that show Mythic Quest because of comments that he made. He had that Bill Murray problem where he's from a different generation and he probably made some lewd remarks to some of the cast members, maybe the women, and that stuff just doesn't fly anymore. Maybe Michael Imperioli. You know, Sopranos won all kind of awards, but I don't know that he ever really took home any trophies himself. Maybe people are like, look, this is kind of a career thing. You know, Michael Imperioli has been in some pretty major shows, only a handful of shows, but they were major. And don't forget his little bit in Goodfellas. But Matthew McFadden, here's the thing. He and Sarah Snook, who plays Shiv Roy on the show, she's also nominated. They played so well off of each other, and there was so many moments of emotional complexity that they played pitch perfect, basically. That I will say it's either going to be Imperioli or it's going to be McFadden. Thank you. Getting back to the strike, let's hear from Fran Drescher, the nanny, who I wish I could interview her now. I interviewed her about 6 months ago about like some really stupid stuff out on the streets of Beverly Hills. She was walking around. I didn't realize that a strike was in the cards at the time. Otherwise, I would have talked to her. But you know what? Maybe I'll see her when I go out tomorrow to get some of this strike footage, and we'll get to hear from Fran here on the Dante Greco show. All right, let's hear from her today, giving a speech.
I cannot believe it, quite frankly, how far apart we are on so many things. How they plead poverty, that they're losing money left and right when giving hundreds of millions of dollars to their CEOs.
Can I say real quick, she kind of looks like an older, dark-haired Margot Robbie, and sounds like when Margot Robbie tries to do any American accent, she just sounds like she's from Brooklyn. Oh my God. Like if you go back and watch The Wolf of Wall Street, or go back and watch especially I, Tonya, which is about Tonya Harding, who, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's from Trailer Park or something. She definitely doesn't have a Brooklyn accent. She sounds like she's from Brooklyn.
It is disgusting. Shame on them. They stand on the wrong side of history at this very moment. We stand in solidarity, in unprecedented unity. Our union and our sister unions and the unions around the world are standing by us, as well as other labor unions. Because at some point, the jig is up. You cannot keep being dwindled and marginalized and disrespected and dishonored. The entire business model has been changed by streaming, digital, AI. This is a moment of history. That is a moment of truth.
You're not going to believe this, okay? The studios, one of their propositions to SAG was that background actors, extras, they would have them come in, they would pay them for one day, and they would capture their likeness. And then they'd be able to use these extras' likeness in perpetuity in any form without ever paying them again. It's literally insane. And I actually had been thinking about this a couple months ago, with AI, when you see things like Mid-Journey that can create such realistic images, and even videos now, there are things being built upon the artificial intelligence that engines that really can produce extremely realistic images and videos, that they would just say, you know what? And by the way, I think that this is like them being nice. Unless SAG-AFTRA really has some pull, I think extras and background people are going to be out of work in a couple of years, because they're going to say, all right, you know what, then we offered to at least pay you once. We're not going to pay you at all. We're just going to keep an archive of endless, totally digitally generated background actors. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, now if you're an independent filmmaker, or if you love cinema, you have some integrity, you'll probably still hire some background actors. But they're going to say, look, it's going to be a lot cheaper. You're not going to have to, have insurance for these extras. You're not going to have to do casting. You can just say, I want a guy that looks like this, and then they'll produce it for you, and they'll put them in the background. They could just use it, and they can own it. So unfortunately, I think that's where it's heading. I wish I had said this publicly when I first thought it, because then I could take credit for the idea.
If we don't stand tall right now, we are all going to be in trouble. We are all going to be in jeopardy of being replaced by machines and big business. Who cares more about Wall Street than you and your family? Most of Americans don't have more than $500 in an emergency.
Yeah. So she's fired up. I like it. I like that she's taking the fight to him. Stay pissed off, Fran. They picked a good president for SAG-AFTRA, I think. Of course, look, I'm on the side of the creators. I have to be, as upset as I am, because I'm hoping to cover some of these events. And I like to watch shows. I don't like to just watch reality shows, even though I enjoy 90 Day Fiance and Love is Blind, and I love watching them with my fiance. I like my scripted programming. I like my movies. So I hope they can resolve this, but I am on their side. I want to make that clear. If any actors or writers or supporters of the strikes are watching, all right, I'm on your side. I'm not on the studio's side. I'm not in the C-suite. So what do I don't need Bob Iger to double his pay. All right, let's get back to the article. Where is it? No, that's the White House. No, that's Macron. We'll talk about that in a sec. They're going to have a federal mediator join negotiation talks. Oh, no, they were, but that failed. So until Fran said, until they do negotiate in good faith, we cannot begin to reach a deal. Yeah, I mean, look, it is kind of bold. They're sitting there like, oh, how could you do this right now? The industry's trying to recover. Well, okay, why don't you volunteer to take a pay cut then, Bob? Or whoever the guy is, Zaslav, who took over Warner Brothers. Why don't you take a pay cut? You know who's taking a pay cut? Jay Leno took a pay cut during one of the writers' strikes. He paid all of the people who worked on his show because he doesn't spend his Tonight Show money. He only spends his stand-up money. Yeah, it's great. It's true. That's why I can only afford denim. I don't spend my Tonight Show money. It's just the money from my stand-up. Yeah, this is true. The big London premiere for Oppenheimer happened Thursday, and the studio pushed the event up an hour, so stars like Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, and more aren't going against union rules. Yeah, that's a thing. You don't realize that, but when you're in the union, you're not even supposed to show up to premieres. When it was just the writer's strike, I covered for Bionic Buzz a red carpet premiere for a show called I'm blanking on the show, but it's based on the life of this sports writer named Shea Serrano. And Shea Serrano couldn't show up because he was the writer and creator, and the writers were on strike, so he couldn't show up to the premiere of his own show, which is about his life, which has got to suck, but you got to stand in solidarity. Christopher Nolan's got to be losing it. First, he's got to fend off Barbie, which the movie theaters refused, and the studios refused to push that back so Oppenheimer could have its own opening weekend. Now it's turned into some kind of hybrid thing called Barbenheimer, where people are booking double features. They're going to see Barbie and Oppenheimer in the same day. He had to fend off Barbie. Now he's been working forever on this movie. I'm sure is just arduous, to say the least, to get Oppenheimer out there. The story of the man who invented the nuclear bomb. I know it's not that simple, but that's basically it. And they're going on strike, and people can't show up to the premiere. You're not going to be able to enjoy it. Gotta suck. The massive cast stepped onto the red carpet, but they weren't present inside the theater. Director Christopher Nolan saying they left to gear up for the strike. They're also not going to take part in panel discussions at Comic-Con. These actors. If you are a comic fan who bought tickets to Comic-Con, I mean, what do? Can you get your money back? Is this considered an act of God or something, or a natural disaster, the strike? Like, is there any kind of thing in the fine print? Because that's going to suck if you show up and it's just like, I don't know, who people that are below the line, no offense, but like, you're going to sit there and listen to a panel from the DP or the cinematographer, maybe, but not, not when you were also, that works if you were going to get to see Tom Cruise as well. Speaking of Tom Cruise, real quick, let's just do this. Look, that's another guy who lives in a different universe than all of us. He, has been incredibly famous since his early 20s, incredibly rich for the last 40 years, and he's in Scientology, which is like a whole other thing. He's got Scientology people that work in his compound, on his compound in Florida for like, like they get paid worse than prisoners, I think. And so I don't fault him for finding it hard to appear like a normal human man, but it's always funny to see. Look at this video. Here's him doing promo for the upcoming Mission Impossible film, which is also going to be competing with Barbenheimer.
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn. I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn. I love my popcorn.
Yeah, sure you do. I love my human creature comforts. I love the food that human beings eat when they go and see movies in a theater. I love my hair dye. I don't know if I like the long-haired look on him. I get that he's trying to look young. He's 60 and he wants to look young, and he gets injections or whatever work done. Okay. But the youthful, shaggy, boyish haircut, that's a little too much. Not a hint of gray. And in this light, you can see the wrinkles, which is fine. You're a human, I think. I love my popcorn.
Movies, popcorn.
Movies,
I love my popcorn.
popcorn. I love movies, popcorn. They probably had to sanitize that popcorn before they handed it to him, just like. Tss, 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 tss. Okay, Tom, let's get you eating the popcorn. I love my popcorn.
Movies, popcorn. I love my popcorn.
You gotta give it up to him, though. He'll do anything to promote a movie, even down to the popcorn. He'll pretend that he is a normal specimen. He'll pretend that he is a Homo sapien, just like the rest of us, who enjoys movies, popcorn. What about a drink? What do you drink? I love drink. Movies, popcorn, drink. I love validating my parking ticket after movie.
Movies, popcorn.
Movies, popcorn, movies. So yeah, if you bought tickets for Comic-Con, hate to break it to you. Sorry. Of course, if I was still working at TMZ and they sent me down to cover Comic-Con, I would love it, because I'd be like, wow. Sorry, guys, couldn't get any shots. There's no celebrities. They're all on strike. Yeah, I really tried. I really worked hard to find celebrities to interview, but I just couldn't find any. They're striking. Oh, well. I'll enjoy my free weekend in San Diego. Let's say happy birthday to Richard Simmons. Happy 75th. Richard Simmons went into hiding about 10 years ago. Hasn't really been seen since. I think my old supervisor at TMZ got a small picture of the side of Richard's head from like the back window of a car. I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. But I used to interview Richard a lot when I first started at TMZ. Here's a little picture of us together. It was great. Every Saturday, I knew, okay, if nothing else is going on, I go to Slimmins in Beverly Hills. That was his workout studio. I'll wait for him to either arrive or leave, and I'll get something fun. That's him. He would always wear those kind of outfits, and he would come up and try to hug me. He tried to kiss me once. It was a lot of fun. And so, sadly, he went into hiding, but it is his birthday. Happy birthday to you. Fans showed up at his house. Now, listen. That could be a fan. Could also just be like a pap. I've seen that happen before. Sometimes these paps, let's say somebody died, for instance, and you go to the person's house to see if anyone's going to leave flowers or cards or, other little mementos. And so sometimes, not us, not TMZ, we were always on the level. But sometimes I would see these freelance guys show up with some flowers, some balloons or whatever, and they would place them there and then take pictures and be like, oh, look at that. Some fans really care. And they left some gifts. How wonderful. So look, what makes me believe it's a real Richard Simmons fan are those shorts. Those are tight, short shorts. These guys either went really method with it if they fabricated, if this is a hoax, or that was a real fan. But I've never seen this guy before. I don't recognize him as any of the paparazzi that I used to work around. So it could be a real fan, but again, it could be like, hey man, I'll give you like $50, show up, have a balloon and a big sign and all that. And so, you never know what you can trust. Happy birthday, Richard. Happy birthday, Richard. Richard, it's your birthday. That's it. There he is in his glory, in his heyday, the 1980s. All about exercise, cocaine, and investing in the stock market. Speaking of AI, by the way, Kamala Harris had some brilliant stuff to say about artificial intelligence.
And I think the first part of this issue that should be articulated is AI is kind of a fancy thing. It's, first of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence.
Did you know that? I didn't know. AI is 2 letters that mean artificial intelligence. See, whenever people talked about artificial intelligence, I didn't put it together that they were talking about AI and vice versa. So I'm glad she cleared that up.
But ultimately what it is it's about machine learning.
Yes.
And
thank you. All right, let's keep moving. Let's get right into President Macron from France. What? You sent a finger to my office? No. Sacre bleu. French President Emmanuel Macron was reportedly given the finger this week, but not in the way you'd think. This one was severed from a human being and sent to him in the mail by Tom Cruise. Fingers, mail. Love my fingers. Severed in the mail. Macron was the recipient of the gory delivery Monday, according to the news outlet London Evening Standard, which says the digits showed up at the Élysée Palace in Paris without a note. We don't know if Macron ever personally saw what was inside. I would assume not, unless he was like, what? They sent the finger? I'll bring it here. I'm sure that his security opened it and was just like, what the hell? They found a severed finger in the palace, but no one knows whose it is. We will do testing and check the surveillance camera, but we cannot find who is responsible for the finger. A source claims police immediately put the finger in their communal fridge where snacks are usually kept. Oh, I hope, for the love of God, they took the snacks out and put them in a different fridge. Like, was there no other fridge? Are the French not doing well? You have to put the finger in the snack fridge? It came back to show from testing that it was from a living human being. Okay. This is like the Big Lebowski. Remember the Big Lebowski where they send a severed toe to try to get the ransom to the other Lebowski? I can get you a finger right now, dude. I'll have a finger for you by this afternoon. The outlet says the person missing the finger was located and given medical support, although they weren't identified. It's unclear if any arrests have been made. Wow. So, okay, unlike our Secret Service, they were able to solve the finger caper. I mean, is that like a protest? Is that someone who's like, ugh, the French are very passionate people. I can't take it. I am sick as a protest. Put it in the mail. No. Today, next day delivery is too expensive. Just send it in the traditional mail, but make sure to get tracking number. Macron was out there having fun during the protests last week. He was at Elton John's farewell tour, which, to be fair, look, it was the final farewell tour. I think Elton is really done. So, Yeah, we don't know if the finger's related to the protests, who sent it, why. It's very weird. I mean, look, at least it wasn't a penis or something useful. You got 9 other fingers. I hope it wasn't a thumb, though. We need our thumbs. That's what separates us from the animals. But did they give them back the finger? That's a question. Do they give you the finger back? Or are they like, well, this is evidence. We need it. You know, we're going to be bringing charges, so we're going to hold on to your finger. You sent it. You sending it means you didn't want it anymore, and you're not getting it back. Macron makes a late night snack run. What's this? Oh, it's the finger. I thought it was what's that shit? Snails. What is that called? Escargot. I thought this was escargot. It's a human finger from a living being. Lisa Marie's cause of death revealed. All right, let's check this out real quick. Breaking news. She died from small bowel obstruction, aged 54. All right. She had surgery, plastic surgery, 2 months before she died. What a letdown. Austin Butler's got to feel a little disappointed in himself and in the team that were responsible for trying to get him that Oscar, because Lisa Marie died for that. Truly, Lisa Marie, I think it's clear, you know, the stress of having to appear publicly at so many different award shows in the run-up to the Oscars caused her to get that surgery. And, you know, she's just wasn't used to being in public that often and being critiqued and talked to and all that. And then to not even get the Oscar at the end of it, after she died, it's like, damn, Lisa, probably didn't need to do all that. Well, that was it. Okay. Real quick, there was this big kind of build-up about the BBC presenter who was named in some kind of pervert pics scandal, or who was they hadn't named him yet, but a BBC presenter was sending perverted pictures to a 17-year-old, and I was like, who could it be? Oh my God. And then they finally revealed it. The guy's wife reveals it. His name is Hugh Edwards, spelled H-U-W for some reason, not H-E-W. Who Edwards. And I'm sitting here like, look, I know my American bias is showing, but who the hell is this guy? I was hoping for somebody you would at least know, like, you know, Piers Morgan or something. Hugh Edwards. Apparently he's a big deal in England, and he announced when the Queen died, and, you know, he's a statesman or something. Hugh, you've really done it this time. No, I'm going to tell. I'm telling. I'm going to reveal you. Yeah, there's something weird with those British presenters. Anybody who's ever heard of Jimmy Savile will tell you that there's something weird about those British presenters. Boy, I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to do this publicly. It's coming out. I just know it's coming out. The news. Scandals timeline. Police were contacted. No criminality was identified. Yeah, I don't think he's being charged. He's just being embarrassed. His career's got to be over. There's no way that he can go on. This is not going to be a Marv Albert situation where he can just resume his day job. I think Hugh Edwards is going to have to. Oh, he's spoken openly about a 20-year battle with mental health problems. Okay. In 2022, he said a bout of depression had left him bedridden. All right. Could be true, but he could also have been playing the long game. He's like, look, I know what type of man I am. I better start sowing the seeds of mental health issues now. So when it does come to light, I can say, well, I've been battling my issues for 20 years. So that's it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because this is America, and I don't know who this guy is, and who cares? Goodbye, Hugh. Goodbye, Hugh Edwards. Though you should know, sent those pics to a 17-year-old. You did. And your wife was really pissed. And it seems to me you lived your life like a pervert in disguise. Never knowing when you'd be exposed for your life of vice. All right. Lolo Jones, Olympian, hints that she's ready to retire and focus on more peaceful pursuits as she opens up about finding inner strength after candidly revealing how being a virgin at 40 has killed her love life. Yeah, I mean, it never was alive in the first place. Your love life was dead on arrival. She's originally from Iowa. She's become one of the most accomplished hurdlers in the world throughout her decades-long career. She's stepping back. She turned to IVF in order to fulfill her dreams of one day becoming a mother. I'm going to do it. I'm going to become a mother one day. Look, let's read through to see if we can find a reason why she's still a virgin. Because when I read this, 40-year-old virgin, I start to say, at what point do you bring up whoever raised her on charges? Like, that's got to be some kind of abuse, like mental abuse. To make her think and feel that she had to stay a virgin for this long. Like, that's like a cult. It's cult-like behavior. It's terrible. She missed out on most of like her best years. Oh, she was a virgin in 2012 when she was 29. No. Okay, so she was. There are virgins out there, and I'm going to let them know it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah, like you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to do it. Staying a virgin before marriage was harder than training for the Olympics. Yeah, I'm sorry, but like whoever put that idea in your head is a truly wicked person. Don't let them control you. Like, as soon as you get out of the house, just go lose that virginity. Has she lost it? It doesn't say. Probably not. I don't know. I mean, unless she's in the closet, but like at this age, in this modern era, you know, you can come out too. Basically. People will be relieved. They'll be like, "Oh my God, thank God, she's just a lesbian. She's not a virgin." Oh, there's fury at Maybelline for using bearded men to promote a new makeup line. I mean, look, not everything's going to be a new Dylan Mulvaney situation. Okay, it's makeup. Like you're not. I'm personally don't care. Women will keep buying Maybelline and using it, and looks like some men will buy Maybelline and use it. Everyone has to do an ad like this at some point. It's the rules now. This is the new beauty standard, women. Okay, so start growing those beards. If you want men to take you seriously, if you want a man to see you as a life partner, you better grow that beard out, lady. But yeah, no, people don't like Twitter is in an uproar, of course, but like, look, this ain't gonna lead to major boycotts. I really don't think so. I don't think so. The Bud Light situation was such a particularly bad understanding of your demographic. And the more I think about it, the less I blame Dylan Mulvaney. I mean, he's not going to, she's not going to turn down money or free beer from Bud Light. She's going to be like, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll do it. You pay me for it? Sure. They shouldn't have done it because it created a horribly ugly situation for Bud Light and Dylan and the whole LGBTQ community. You know, there's a lot of ugliness that could have been avoided. But for this, I know everyone's raring to go on their next boycott. I don't see this one having legs. Toe curling emails reveal how former JP Morgan exec Jess Staley simpered to Jeffrey Epstein about their profound friendship and told the child sex abuser he'd like to retire on the creep's infamous pedo island. That you're really if you want to retire on Epstein Island, most people probably went there, maybe enjoyed it, maybe got a little freaked out. This guy wanted to retire there. And this is a JP Morgan exec. I used to be with Chase. I left them a long time ago. So I don't mind trashing them in this way. They had too many fees for my liking. Seriously, though, is he free? Staley, as far back as 2006, joked to colleagues about Epstein being surrounded by young girls. Yeah, well, I mean, that's when it was all going down. That was like Epstein's prime. Epstein's prime, I think, was from the early mid 90s to like the mid 2000s, and then kind of petered out a little bit. I think he and Ghislaine went their separate ways after he got that, very, very light sentence in 2008. So, but yeah, I mean, look, this guy, what's your explanation for this? Telling the guy you want to retire on his island, this guy's island, which who knows if that's even possible. I don't even know if he had permanent housing. If this is like one of those hotels that also has residences. Sickening. All right, I talked about this the other day. Got a lot of views on TikTok with this bit about Tori Spelling staying in a $100 a night motel during her ongoing divorce with her children there in tow. And we talked about how Candy Spelling has her mother, Candy Spelling, has like $500 million, and Tori only got $800,000 in inheritance when Aaron Spelling died. And how I thought it was just the pap photos of Tori coming out of the motel were staged to make Candy look bad, and probably to make Dean McDermott, Tori's, I don't know if I guess you can call him estranged, at least, husband, and be like, look, this is where we are because of you two, but especially Candy, because Candy has the money. Dean's just an actor. He doesn't have that much money. He can't. Dean, I wonder if Dean's on strike right now. That'd be great. Maybe Dean will be at the writer's strike or SAG after strike. Anyways, this new update, which to me confirms what I said. Tori Spelling's motel stay has nothing to do with the status of her marriage to Dean McDermott. She's dodging a mold issue at their home. So I think, and it was a brilliant media move. She said, you know what? We're going to make lemons out of this lemonade. I'm going to call a pap, and we're going to use this because, look, even though she's still staying in the home with Dean, she probably wants more money. She could probably use more money. I mean, they do have 5 kids. That's very expensive, especially in LA. She says, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go. We're going to take pictures. Kids, we're going to stay for like a night or two. They're going to take the pictures. It's going to go everywhere. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, can you believe Candy Spelling with all her millions or 9 figures is letting her daughter and her grandchildren stay in a shitty LA motel? They decided to stay there. This is coming from an insider, by the way, probably Tori. They decided to stay there because of the ongoing mold problem at their house. She's taking this issue very seriously and isn't going to subject herself or her kids to that. Again, probably could have gotten an Airbnb or stayed at any number of the wonderful hotels here in Los Angeles. She chose a not so great motel that did have free Wi-Fi and wood furnishings so that she could also get a story out of it. Because it's no story Tori Spelling staying at a hotel. I mean, it might be a little story like, oh, is there trouble in the marriage? But we know there's trouble in the marriage. This was a brilliant move. but I think I was right. I think it was staged to garner sympathy and not extort, but at least get a little cash. Get a little cash out of Candy. So, a little follow-up for you. All right. Let's talk about this awful Wonka trailer, and then we'll wrap it up here. Trailers, popcorn. Love my trailers, love my popcorn. Timothée Chalamet is starring as Willy Wonka in the new movie Wonka. Let's watch the trailer and let's react. Hold on, let me quit out of that. It's making too much noise. All right. This is, I think, like, it looks horrible. It truly looks horrible, and he does a horrible job in it. The acting is atrocious. He should have gone on strike, personally, before this movie was made. It would have been better for everyone involved.
I've spent the past 7 years traveling the world perfecting my craft.
I've spent the past 7 years traveling the world perfecting my craft. Already, it sounds like he's reading the lines for the first time. You know, it sounds like a cold reading. I've spent the last 7 years traveling the world perfecting my craft.
You see, I'm something of a magician, inventor, and chocolate maker.
And if you hear, listen to the music too. I can't stand this. Can we get off of this in Hollywood? This trailer idea where they take songs that you know and they just slow them down. And that's supposed to make it more dramatic. Like they'll take popular songs and just slow them down. Now they're slowing down the Willy Wonka, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory theme.
Years traveling the world perfecting my craft. You see, I'm something of a magician, inventor, and chocolate maker. So quiet up and listen down. Nope, scratch that. Reverse it.
What? Oh my God, is that a chocolate? Is that a vanilla bean? A giant vanilla bean in the tree? People say this all the time, but this literally looks like an SNL parody sketch with the same high production values.
Mr. Wonka, I can see you're a man of great ingenuity.
What are you doing?
I'm making chocolate, of course. How do you like it? Dark, white, nutty, absolutely insane.
I mean, come on. He's trying to be quirky. He's trying to be eccentric, and it is so forced. He's not embodying this at all.
I'm making chocolate, of course. How do you like it? Dark, white, nutty, absolutely insane.
You're not supposed to do that. Huh? Absolutely insane. That's called overacting. When I tried that in my acting classes, they would stop the scene and say, what are you doing? You're doing too much with your face. You're indicating. Robert De Niro will tell you, you don't want to indicate. I'm making chocolate. Insane.
Many people have come here to sell chocolate. They've all been crushed by the chocolate cartel.
Oh, the chocolate cartel. Many people have come here to do this important civil rights movement of making chocolate. And now the music's getting even more wondrous and uplifting.
You can't get a shop without selling chocolate, and you can't sell chocolate without a shop.
This is as stupid as Footloose, where there's it's a town where you can't dance. Oh my God, you can't make chocolate here, Willie. We're going to have you arrested.
No daydreaming.
What are we gonna do, Willie?
Huh.
There he goes again with the faces. We're living in a world where you're not allowed to daydream. Huh? I'm telling you, it's overact. I can't believe they put this out. Why didn't they use de-acting technology? Where's some of that AI that maybe Fran Drescher's got it wrong? Maybe they need this AI, at least on this movie. Instead of it's acting for the screen. Maybe he thought he was doing live theater, and you got to be big for the back audience.
A double hump.
Get the pencil and paper.
Uh-huh.
I got an idea. I know things haven't been easy for you. They're gonna get better.
You promise?
I pinky promise. That's the most solemn vow there is.
Where do we start?
A good chocolate chip is simple.
Where's this? It's just
Weird.
What's happening? Who wants a chocolate that makes you fly?
Let's find out, shall we?
Who's for a hoverjob? Nothing to see here. Just a small group of people defying the laws of gravity.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Gallery Gourmet, my name is Willy Wonka.
He's good. Too good.
I know it's a kid's movie, but here's the thing. What made the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie with Gene Wilder tolerable, even to adults, is that like it wasn't some like, oh my God, we're making chocolate. It wasn't some inspiring, but like at the end, the message is supposed to be a little inspiring, but the whole movie isn't an inspiring ride about dreaming and making chocolate. No, what was great about it was Gene Wilder understood that the character hated those kids. He saw a lot of those kids for the selfish, sniveling little bastards that kids can be. And he let them know. He had a sharp tongue. And by the way, I'm not some guy who's like, oh, they're messing with movies that I liked as a kid. I don't care. I don't care that they're remaking it. It's fine. Remake everything. And look, like I do, as bad as this is, it's better than that androgynous freak thing that Johnny Depp did 10 years ago. But you don't have the sarcasm, which is what makes it work. Otherwise, it gets too pretentious.
Yeah, pretty sure I've gained about 150 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
You could change her life, Mr. Wonka. Change all their lives.
Run away!
Every good thing in this world started with a dream. So you hold on to yours.
Here we go, Mama.
You saved us,
words.
Willie.
This is going to be the greatest chocolate shop the world has ever seen.
It's enough with the origin stories, too. How Willie became Wonka. Who fucking cares how Willie became Wonka? You don't need that. I saw someone on Twitter pointed this out. You know, apparently the story is actually supposed to be about Charlie, who goes to the chocolate factory. It's not about what a wonderful man Willy Wonka is. Wow.
So you're the funny little man who's been following me.
I will have you know that I am a perfectly respectable size for an Oompa Loompa.
Sorry.
That I am a perfectly respectable size for an Oompa Loompa.
Number what now?
Allow me to refresh your memory.
Oh, I don't think I want to hear that.
Too late.
Oh, okay. That also surprises me. I believe that's Hugh Grant playing an Oompa Loompa, a digital Oompa Loompa. Now, look, that's fine with me, but it shocks me that a movie that it's not woke, but it's definitely like inspiring and it's checking all the right boxes and all that they would hire a man who is not a little person to play the main little person. Is that not shocking? Isn't that against their rules? Whoa.
Oh, I don't think I want to hear that.
Too late. I've started dancing now. Once we've started, we can't stop.
Daydreaming.
What are we gonna do?
No
Willie?
daydreaming.
Huh? Thinking of a magician, inventor, and chocolate maker. So quiet.
Wow. Okay, so look, it's horrible. This Christmas, the worst movie ever made. This Christmas.
Quiet up and listen down. Nope, scratch that. Reverse it.
Timothee Chalamet gives the worst performance of his career. Inspiring. Learn the secret of how Willie became Wonka. Again, the accent, like where's his accent? I don't know. He's not playing the character. He's acting. He's acting too much. He's not being the character. You really need like a Daniel Day-Lewis or somebody. Or I don't know who's a good actor. Put Oscar Isaac. I don't know, somebody in there that can embody a character, not do this whole like, we're making chocolates. You can't make chocolate in here. All right, it's enough now. Okay, So that's it. Everything's going on. This is the Dante Greco Show. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Follow me on TikTok at the Dante Greco Show. I'm trying to get over 1,000 followers so I can start going live there. All right. Can't do without your help, folks. The New World Order is trying to shut us down, and the globalists and all that. They hate us. So thank you. Thank you for watching. And now I will leave you with some words from our ex-president.
Have a good life. We will see you soon.
Much love.
Thank you.
Love.
All right, Dante.
So once again, thank you to my brother. Tell him your name again.
Dante Greco.
2 words. Made in America.
Dante, you're doing great.
That's good. I know anybody over in my life. It's from.
Listen, I want you to leave my good friend Ringo alone.
My pal, Hal. Have a good day.